is this a pub picture?
And that's the perfect time to hit record. So, with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're at Pirate episode number 18. And with mentions of pubs, we will harken back to the last time we saw our little Bingo, who, if memory serves
Sorry,
me...
just announcing my presence in case anyone was doubting that I was here.
If memory last serves me, had taken another try at the interesting little potion that he's acquired with some more interesting
Putting it on
effects.
coffee beans.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Hang on. Let me just get my post-it notes out to remind myself. What effect am I under right now?
So, let me just remind myself as well as how long that lasts.
I know that it made me go, oh. That's what I remember.
That's right. Yes, that was the -3 to all stats. Basically, Bingo, you spent most of that time in a daze until all of a sudden the pub was on fire, and at least that managed to sink in that it's probably best to go home. So you stumbled out onto the street and made your way back to the ship. You had no idea where the rest of them were, and you just collapsed onto your sock pile and passed out.
Follow the sounds of fire! That's probably where they are!
You passed out back on the ship amongst your socks and slept off what was almost like a hangover of doom. Your stats are now back to normal.
Terrible day! Okay.
You, however, did miss, while you were skulking around in the shadows below deck and feeling sorry for yourself, the takeoff of the ship the next morning, and you basically kept out from underfoot. The only thing really drawing you back up onto deck was the sound of an explosion, which sounded really, really interesting.
Whoa!
And it was at that point that the rest of you actually returned to the ship. The explosion heard by Mug was the vessel that you, Edric, and Mug and Whisp had been on. And I will rejoin the story after you've made your dashing leaps back onto the ship, and if memory serves me right, Edric, you spectacularly flailed that and landed flat on your backside.
Only a little bit, but
Just a little bit.
But he's never going to talk about it. And if others do, I have a pistol that likes to have a little conversation with them.
Many of the crew had questioned what had gone on the ship, the explosion, the fact that the ship had been trying to run away from the Cirrus, that there was no crew to be seen. There's been mixed stories spread.
Oh yeah, true. We crossed chaos with that.
Yeah, I think Mog is not very good at explaining what happened because he didn't quite understand.
I believe I posted a picture about that earlier. But true, Mug had very little idea of what was actually going on. Some of the others that had been on board, like Lady Alara, just didn't want to talk about it. Lady Alara has actually just taken herself down below decks. Whisp seems to be telling her, as far as she understands it, more truthful version of events. There seems to be a bit of disagreement on context between Whisp and Mug.
Magic door, magic door.
Something about magic doors, yes.
And a little sorceress.
With
yeah,
an
that
evil
was the
twin.
girl we stabbed, right?
No, no, we didn't stab the girl.
Didn't we kill her and that killed the ship?
You threw the body into the fire, and that
Into
ended.
the furnace, yeah.
Oh yes, so we
Yeah, we didn't stab
we
her.
watched her burn through.
I love how
Yeah.
casually we're just like, we threw that body in the furnace, right? Yeah. That's normal.
I know, Glenn. You know what Mug wants to do? Mug wants to talk to the twins about evil twins to warn them that one of them could become an evil twin. Because he has witnessed evil twins on
So
this ship.
it doesn't take you long because they're up on deck. They were amongst the group that had brought the cannons back and had secured them on deck along with
Oh,
the other
right.
loot. So Mug, you find them securing what loot you did manage to get off the ship in place. One of them looks up as you approach and then grins at you and goes, "Well, I'm glad to see you made it off that interesting ride."
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing, guys. You know what you have to watch out for? You know, I, I hope it doesn't happen to you too, but on this ship, we found a little girl who had an evil twin who was controlling the whole ship with these evil monsters, and we had to destroy the evil twin. And like, I don't want one of you to become an evil twin. You have to avoid that.
They both look at you, look at each other, look back to you and go, "I don't think we'll find that a problem."
Yeah,
They're
but
already
I think
both.
it's like really common.
It might be common, but we see, we've got a neat trick to make sure that one of us doesn't become the evil twin. We both be evil.
Do you kill the evil twin? What's your trick?
Our trick is that if we're both evil at the same time, we can't have an evil twin.
They're both in league with the child!
No. Then you have two evil twins, and both of you need to go in the furnace.
Both of you need to go in the furnace.
They chuckle. I don't think you'd fit the both of us in there at the same time.
Oh yes, we can. All it takes is a little bit of an accent.
Hey, look what I'm saying here is that I like the two of you, so I don't want you to become evil twins.
Well, Scout's honor, we won't do it.
I don't know what a scout is, but if it's a as a warrior, I think I have honor.
Well, very much the same as that.
Good.
Thanks for the warning, though.
You're welcome. We have to watch out for each other.
Out here, always. One of them pats you on the shoulder.
Yeah. You're good people. You're good twins. Stay that way.
Well, we'll always be good, especially when there's money to be made.
Oh yeah, good money is the best.
That it is. Pays for the
money is
beer.
good money. Ooh, pretty dice.
Yeah, but everything went wrong there because of an evil twin. So yeah, that's a learning for us. Let us I don't want our ship to end up like that. I don't want to have to explode our ship.
Well, if we're exploding the ship, we want to make sure we're not on it at the time.
That usually helps.
Yep. I don't see anyone here with wings, so... And it's a long, long walk back home.
I mean, I just realized that it was only the last game where I realized we were on airships.
Yes, that happened. Mug was gonna go dive off the side of the ship,
Into the water.
only to realize that there was a little bit too little. There was not enough water to dive in.
Yeah.
Which then resulted in Mug basically doing this for the next couple of rounds of combat.
Yep.
So, the crew moves to secure the cargo below decks. Bhajiri steers the ship back onto course, and things return somewhat to normalcy. The rest of the day goes rather uneventfully. Meals come and go, and shifts change, and everyone falls back into the rhythm of work. So, unless anyone has anything specific they want to do, I'll just jump us a few days.
I have a very specific thing I'd like to do with cannons.
Go for it.
I'd like to fit them close to each other.
Yep.
To the front of the ship. Because what I'd like to do is make them chaser cannons. So the ones where two cannonballs with a chain between it.
Yep.
Are fired at, for example, a mast to try and take it down, or that kind of stuff.
Noted. So you spend the next couple of days securing the cannons up the front and making the adjustments you need to sight them and range them until you're happy that they're in the appropriate position and ready to go.
Yep.
The next 2 or 3 days are uneventful, and it is not too long after breakfast that the lookout bellows from up above and say, you hear him scream down to the deck below, "Balloons on the horizon!"
Balloons!
Balloons?
Balloons! I've heard of these, but I've never seen balloons.
One of the crew taps you on the shoulder, Mug, and points above your head. And he mentions,
Big.
yeah, he means he sees a pair of those. A couple of the crew move to the side of the ship that the sentry has pointed at, and Bhajiri pulls out his large spyglass and looks in the direction.
So what do you do with these? Do you hunt these? Are they good to eat?
Well, this one isn't, but you can always try to eat the ones on the horizon when we meet them.
Okay.
Can I shout up to the lookout?
Yep.
What colors are they flying?
After a couple of seconds, you hear the shout back. And the scout that is looking in their direction shouts, "Looks like a Hatha trader, and it looks like it's come under attack."
So they need some help, which means they'd pay handsomely for it. Shall we?
After a few more seconds, another shout comes down. "It's pirates! Bandits after a trader!"
We'll take them on.
At the sound of that, Bhajiri actually returns to the helm and steers the ship in their direction.
Oh, are we going to fight pirates? That should be fun. Wait, are we pirates?
Not yet. That's actually Silas saying that as well.
A couple of the crew look in your general direction, Silas, and go, "No, but we should go to their aid, and they should be paid for it." And with
Oh,
that, you hear
yeah.
Bhajiri shout from up on the deck where some of the other crew and you see Tarin and some of the other officers are gathering. Man your battle stations and get the cannons ready.
Hey, that's my job. And with that, I'm just going to copy that. And I'll just shout out, man the stations, get the weapons, now!
The crew leap into action and the cannons get unlashed and prepared for combat. One of the
I'm
crewmen...
going to take the swivel gun again that I took last time. Like the cannon on top. At the... Is that the poop deck? The one where the wheel is?
Yep, there are 2 cannons up there, one facing either side, but you did swivel one up there.
I'm gonna head back to the swivel one, and I'm also gonna unlock the cabinet of guns that I had placed at the top deck, and just start handing out weapons and boarding access to people.
Crew rush up and gather up their weapons. Some have run down below decks to bring up sacks of gunpowder and shot in preparation for the cannons. As you get closer, it becomes even more apparent that there are 2 ships chasing a rather large trader. The ship's not quite as big as the Cirrus, but it's reasonably sized, but it is definitely outmatched by the other 2.
The other 2, what are they like?
One of them is smaller than the Cirrus. You'd recognize it as a sloop, a very common type of ship, basically the smallest kind of warship you would come across. It's a size smaller than what you're currently standing on. The other one appears to be a jury-rigged ship. It's not anywhere near as big as either the trader or the sloop, and it has kind of been cobbled together. It looks like it's got at least the same kind of firepower as what the sloop, the trader is dishing out, but it is a lot more agile and faster.
Okay. Ooh, I have a plan. If we're chasing, we're from behind, right?
You're approaching roughly from behind, and it looks like the pirates haven't noticed you. They are still chasing the trader, trying to slow him down by damaging engines or anything like that.
I'd like to get the teams manning the chaser cannons.
Yep.
I'd like to get them to aim at the balloon of the jury-rigged ship.
Noted. The chaser cannons have a lot smaller range, so you know you'd have to get reasonably close to that one. And it is the one that is actually slightly further away from you. The sloop is actually between you and it.
Huh. In that case, maybe the sloop first, because, well, why not take it out on the way there?
As Bhajiri brings the ship closer, and you get into range of the sloop, the trader pulls a massive turn, spinning his ship almost 90 degrees and opens a broadside towards the jury-rigged ship and continues turning back towards the sloop. And it looks like they've spotted you and they're heading in your direction. And let me just roll that.
Yeah, and I think Mug is still just waiting for them to get close enough. Like, fight. Why are they so far away?
One of the crew taps you on the shoulder, Mug, and points towards the trader. It's like, I don't think there's going to be a problem for long because the pirates are going to follow that one. That's if they don't notice us first.
Oh,
We'll just have to take them down
actually, did we recover our health?
Yep, you have recovered from the last fight. Alara has at least healed your wounds before going below deck.
That's very nice.
In fact, we've even upgraded. Level.
The jury rig ship actually takes the hit from the trader. Let me just quickly double check. Oh, what was that? Yeah. I'm glad I have all these dice. 2, 4, 6. 8, 10. And I'll start rolling that.
Yeah, I took that.
And in the meantime, the sloop has started to turn to intercept, and in doing so has turned broadside onto you and hasn't realized that you're there. So the chaser cannons are in range. Bhajiri glances towards you and says, "The cannons are yours. They'll follow your orders."
Oh, cannons.
I'm gonna look at the people standing at the chaser cannons, standing at the ready because well, I gave them the instructions.
Me, please pick me.
Of course, bingo.
Yes. I'm gonna shoot
So-
the cannon. I'm gonna shoot the cannon.
Let's hit that big balloon out of the sky.
Yeah.
Let me hit it as well. I will hit it.
Okay, you'll take the other cannon then.
Yes. I'll command this cannon. Says Mug. He has a good track record with cannons so far. Doesn't mean he knows what he's doing.
He has no clue what he's doing, and
No.
I'm
Silas smells
very good
that.
with cannons. I can use cannons in close combat encounters. That's how good I am with cannons.
You've actually proven that before. Yet still, I am the only one with a decapitation by cannon on his name.
I'm working on it.
It looks like the jury rig ship took one hell of a hit, but it is still up and it closes in on the trade ship. And now that they're all getting in range, you can see that the trade ship it's very similar to the Hathard warship you saw in design, except that it's wider and it carries a lot less guns.
And therefore probably a lot more loot.
The sloop, on the other hand, is sleek, slim, and has a lot of cannons on it. The other ship looks like at some point it may have been a fishing vessel that's been strapped to a balloon, and you don't know what the hell is powering it, but probably wishes and hamsters. But
That makes me want it more. I want a ship
it
powered by
seems
wishes
to
and
work,
hamsters.
and it's got 6 cannons strapped onto it.
Glenn,
Yep.
just from a mechanical standpoint, because of, well, aim,
Yep.
would there be a connection rod or ring rig up to the balloon? Would it be down to the back of the ship where the steering on a normal ship would be?
So the sloop has a single beam that runs amidship, so right in the center, up towards the balloon, and the rigging lashes up from that and up and around. There is other rigging around to hold the balloon in place, but the central beam is what holds it firm in the place of storms and weather and maneuvering. You know that if you hit it, you will probably slow it down a bit, because when they start to move the ship around, the balloon won't follow as smoothly.
In that case, I'm tempted not to fire at the balloon because, well, with the heavy-duty balloons that they would probably be using.
Yeah. I think Mog is aiming at the general direction of the balloon.
Noted.
Take aim.
I mean, has Mug been told clearly which one is the enemy, like which one is the pirates, and which one is the...
Yeah,
Okay.
he has specifically pointed at the single balloon that needs to be popped.
Okay. Yeah. The Mug is trying to pop the balloon. He can understand instructions like that.
There is a few sailors helping you, Mug, with the cannon, and they seem to be covering up for any mistakes you make.
Yeah. At least Mug is like strong enough to like load the cannon. Like he just drops the cannonball and.
They're
By
relying on
himself.
Mug for the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
If anything, that part is actually speeding them up. It is more the aiming that's slowing them down, because they have to stop Mug from aiming it badly.
He got really lucky the last time. I think they're expecting good things from him.
So, with that, I'll get you to roll initiative.
That's a decent start to the evening. Do we get stunt points for initiative?
No, not on the original initiative roll. Let me just put that in.
Oh yeah, Glenn. I just realized I haven't actually picked the specialization yet.
That's all right.
We can sort it out later. Or...
Yeah, we can sort it out later. It won't affect too much.
I feel like Berserker sounds, just by the name of it, sounds like something Mug would enjoy.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be either Berserker, or the only other one that's remotely okay is probably like Mage Hunter. Because like he might think he's like a total Mage Hunter because he has fought all these monsters and that like evil twin sorcerer. I don't know.
Let me do that one. Oh, that's more like it. Do that.
Oh, okay. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be the first to do.
Wait, Rosie,
News.
how did you roll a nat 20 on a 3d6?
Because I rolled a d20 and forgot to roll 3d6s. That's
I'm glad you spotted that, because I hadn't looked yet.
I shall roll that one again.
I am so sorry for wasting 20, Rosie.
To be fair, that's the first time I've rolled that dice in a while, so clearly it still loves me. Bear with me one moment. That's round 10 for bingo.
Do you add dexterity?
Yes, you do. Oh, bleeding heck, that made that picture really small.
Okay, well, at least it's not a triple one.
Oh, hang on.
Well done.
I guess this is where my bad roll goes, hopefully, and then I roll very good on the cannon. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. So based on that, now let me just quickly check yours. So 6 on that, 10 there, and 19 there. So 6. Edric, you're first on the turn order. And then
Okay.
we have 2, and then we have...
Am I, like, if I'm at the swivel gun, am I then even in position to fire at anything?
At this stage, no.
So the massive gun that is like
But you
next
can
to
hold your action.
Okay, I'd like to hold and just signal the captain to swing it around a little bit so that, well, I get in range of shooting something.
Yep.
And as soon as I hit range, that's when I blow shit up. With that, I'm gonna have to BRB for a second.
Noted. So I'm going to do that, and then... Three. Sorry, just sorting out the turn orders, I should say. That brings that to 4, 5, and 6. This is going to be hilarious. So, Edric, you see, calls something to the captain, and then he lines up his cannon and waits. The tiny little ship that is hounding the trader breaks away and pulls another maneuver to try and get out of the range of the cannons of the trade ship. The sloop, however, appears to have been turning into fire and try to block the way of the trade ship itself. And as it does, you see the trader seemingly pull more speed out of nowhere and try to rush the gap to get onto your side of where this sloop is trying to cut him off. As he tries this maneuver, the two ships collide with a colossal crashing noise as the sloop careens dead center amidst the trader. The pirate captain appearing not to have realized what maneuver this trading ship was trying to do has inadvertently put himself onto a collision course. The two ships grind and push against each other as Bhajiri then spins the Cirrus around and brings you up onto a trajectory that puts your cannons now aimed dead center onto the pirate ship.
Ooh.
And Edric, were you holding your action until that happened?
I was specifically holding my action until something like that.
Ready up.
I'd like to fire the big cannon at top deck.
Yep. So fire that one.
I'd like to specifically aim at where I know that the steering wheel of the other ship is located.
Noted. Yep. Go for that.
Hold on.
Let me put that there.
Okay. I'll take it.
Noted. What do you roll?
So I get stunt points, right?
Yep.
And also this is black powder, so I...
Yes, you get your... Have you got a focus in black powder or just the...
No, not yet.
Right, no, you don't add the +2 for that because you don't have a focus. But it's black powder, so you use... off the top of my head. Sorry, it's been a little while. And
What's the attack roll like? Because it's Normally for me it's 3d6 plus 4 black powder weapons. Is that the same for cannons?
It will be, because if the +4 is your accuracy,
Yeah.
yes. So it's accuracy to hit, and it is perception for damage.
Nice. In that case, to try and hit, that's a lot.
Noted. Yep. That's definitely a hit.
And 21.
Yep, definitely hit. So roll
Nice.
your
And
damage.
I get 6 stun points, right?
Yes, you do.
In that case, I'd like to lethal blow
Yep,
plus rapid reload.
got it. Go for it.
That means how much damage was a cannon?
10d6.
Plus 2d6 is from the lethal blow. Oh, I could have done that even better. Yeah, I should have done that. Oh well.
In the meantime,
It's too late now.
Yeah.
the crew that are manning the other cannons, apart from Bingos and Mugs, also fire. That one misses. Now, off the top of my head, let me just double check how many on that side of that ship.
Okay. I'm just gonna do it this way.
Right, yep. Yep, that one hits.
And then plus my perception, so that's another 3.
Rightio. Where is the stunt table that I suddenly now need?
I dealt 51 points of damage, specifically to the steering wheel area.
Yep.
The goal was literally to take out the steering wheel.
Rightio. So you know you've got 9 cannons on the side of the ship. You've fired yours. 2 of the others are manned by your friends, and 6 of them are managed by the rest of the crew. As you fire, the other 6 manned by the crew also go off. So you did 51 damage
Yes.
of targeted on a sloop, which has that. Noted.
We still need to get a secondary ship so that a scene from Pirates of the Caribbean at some point.
Right, and let me just roll for the damage of everyone else. There's a lot of ones in that. Rightio. The other 6 cannons fire off in a cacophony, and some of them barely hit their target, others sort of skim across the deck and do a little bit of damage, but nothing too impressive. One of the crews, however, fires off a shot, rapidly throws another shot in there, and fires it again. And the second shot...
Oh, okay.
They stunted.
Yep, yes they did.
Nice.
I do not have a big enough hand to do all that with one hand. And the second shot hits something important.
Uh-oh.
You hear a massive crack and a thunderous explosion of splinters and wood pumps out the side of the ship as this cannonball just punches right through the armor. With that, that brings up next in the turn order after that. So Edric, you held your turn. Bhajiri had his turn. Bingo, your turn.
Hello, I am back. Sorry, my doggy was being very noisy, so I just muted.
All good.
Okay. Am I sitting on top of my favourite cannon?
Bingo, you're sitting on top of the cannon like a World War II pin-up poster. You are straddling it and ready to go.
I'm like a combination of tank girl and a pin-up girl from like years ago. Yes, I'll fire the cannon. Yes. Plus 11.
So that was an 11 to hit, was it?
I didn't roll so good.
You managed to hit it. It's a stationary target. It's not exactly moving anywhere, or at least not fast.
Take that! And that!
You basically, in your enthusiasm, nearly knock the cannon slightly off kilter, but you still manage to get your shot.
Awesome. Oh, how much is the cannon to hit? Damage-wise?
That is 10d6.
My flamey dice. Red ones. You're red. You're black. You'll do. How many? 10.
Yep.
7, 8, 9, 10. Okay.
Ooh. Do it.
6. Right, 10,
Do it,
16,
do it.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 12, 6, 7, 6, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 34, 35.
Noted.
Wait. Yeah, 10. 20. 29. 35. Yeah. I can maths.
This side of the ship is sporting some nice, neat new holes, and you definitely have the crew's attention. Many of them are rushing back over to this side to man the weaponry, but it appears that they were not prepared to be attacked from this side.
Name's Bingo Boom Boom, don't forget it.
Rightio, so that was them.
Yep.
Bingo is a good shooter.
And next up, we have... I can't count.
Oh, pick me.
It is Muck.
Yes. Okay. So, what is the attribute? Accuracy or?
Yep, it is accuracy to hit, and it is perception for damage.
Perception for damage.
Yep.
Oh.
Well, you add your perception to your damage.
Okay. Unfortunately, I don't have stun point. It's not a bad roll.
That's all good, as long as you don't triple one.
No, I think it's a fairly So, so I think that's 17 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Yes.
So 10d6 plus your perception damage.
See, Mug knows how to do this. 10d6? 10.
10d6, yep.
Okay. Yeah, Mug totally knows how to handle. Oh boy. Okay. Oh. And I just add like perception at the end as
Yep.
well. Okay. Okay, so the smallest number out of these is my perception. I'll just show the numbers while I'm counting it up.
That's a pretty solid hit.
Yeah. So it's 10, 21. Oh my god. Okay, I'll just use calculator.
That's right, that's what I did. So I came up with 37.
Oh, okay. Only 37.
Unless I missed a number.
Yeah, it just looked like it would be more, but no, I'm sure you're right.
Yep, so that puts that on. Your opening salvo has slammed into this schooner and punched multiple holes up along the side of its hull. There is damage to the woodwork, and there is a little bit of smoke coming out of one of the holes. The crew...
Yes, I know how to shoot the cannon. See, I told you.
The crew near you, Mug, cheer at that. The crew of the pirate vessel, however, are swarming all over like a kicked ant's nest and appearing to be getting ready to return fire as soon as they possibly can. And with that, we go to the top of the turn order, which is you, Edric.
Ooh. I'd like to. Well, now that I'm probably in range for the swivel gun as well.
Yep, you still in range.
Is there like a captain-looking figure within?
It is hard to tell now that you've absolutely got their attention and they're rushing around preparing to try and fend off an attack from the other side of the ship now. I will get you to do a perception to try and spot anyone of importance on the vessel amidst the massively panicked crew.
Okay, in that case, perception. That would be 14 plus numbers. 14 plus 3 is 17.
Yep. And if you got seeing, you can add it, but...
Nope.
17?
I am not good at seeing.
Fair enough. You make out someone that's bellowing orders and pointing towards the cannons. You're not 100% certain it's the captain, but regardless, they're trying to control the fight.
He looks like the one in control of making in a way that they enjoy.
Yeah.
In that case, I'd like to aim the swivel gun specifically at his head.
Noted. Roll an attack, but at disadvantage.
Yep.
Because you're aiming at
tiny
something.
target.
Yep.
Okay. Ah, that's not bad. It went from 544 to 444.
444
Plus.
is 12 plus your accuracy.
Which is 4, so that means 16 with 4 stun points.
Noted.
And the thing is already reloaded, which means I'd like to... Yeah, I'd like to Mighty Blow. No, I'd like to Lightning Attack and also Rapid Reload.
So rapid reload and then lightning attack?
Yeah, I'd like to fire the cannon, then Rapid Reload, then Lightning Attack for another attack.
Got it. So you fire off your shot and you do hit, so I'll get you to roll your damage.
Okay, that's that 10d6 damage.
That is
again?
10d6 to this poor sorry bastard.
The fucker angered me and a cannon. Half of the dice rolled are 6s, the other half literally 2s and 1s.
Yeah, I've had that happen too. That's why this is a
pretty much going
10d6.
to be 13.
Oh wait, that's 6 sixes, which is a number,
Wow.
and then
So 36 to start.
that's 36, 40, 42, plus my perception makes 45.
Noted.
Would it at this point be bludgeoning damage or piercing damage?
So, on that, how do you want to pace this guy?
Well,
Wow, you got him.
I'm specifically aiming for a headshot.
From the perspective of those that
With the cannon?
catch this,
Yes.
you see this sailor on the pirate ship with a plumed hat, bellowing orders and pointing at the cannons, and you see the moment he turns to point towards your ship. And it's right at that moment he catches a cannonball directly into the face.
Hey, catch.
His body stands there for a couple of
Nice.
seconds before hitting the deck, and the crew next to him panic.
Oh, no, nice one.
So you get a second
Thank
shot, by
you.
the way.
Oh yeah, I have a second shot.
So roll to hit with that one. No stunts though.
Yeah. Well, what name are you going by? Are you bastard still, or?
Yeah, you can call me Silas the Bastard.
Yeah,
Or just
I think-
Silas, if that's more preferable.
I think bastard is easiest to remember. It's
Okay,
a
go
catchy
ahead.
name. Well done, bastard.
Thank you. With that, the second hit is a second attempt to hit is a 17.
Yep, that's a hit. You're aiming just at the ship now?
Yeah, I'm now just aiming to do damage now that probably freaked out a few of them.
That is a hit.
Nice. That one had no stun points, by the way. Just because it's a secondary roll.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 33. 44.
Noted.
Because rolling 10d6s is fun.
Why do you think I put cannons in? Noted. So Bhajiri slowly turns the ship. It's jerky as it turns, as he's trying to keep you on target with a vessel that is now effectively dead in the water, with a trade ship trying to squeeze past it. the movements sort of shake you a bit and make it a little bit harder for those that are trying to load the cannons and make their ways about the ship. But it doesn't throw you to your feet. That brings up Bingo and the rest of the crew firing their cannons.
Kaboom!
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do better this time. Roll that fucking dice, I'm not.
I'm rolling better this time. Well, fuck that dice.
30.
That hits.
Was that 10? Okay. Oh, it's all 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29.
29
29.
on damage.
Yes.
Noted.
Boom.
Well done.
Can I aim for the balloon?
Yes, you can.
Like the balloon that's keeping their ship in the air?
Your shot sails into the balloon. You hear a slight hiss as it punctures it.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah! Timber!
You do notice, though, that not as much gas as you would be hoping was escaping from the hole, though. And crew are already scaling their way up the side to... Some of them look like they've got cloth
Duct
and
tape.
tarp and materials to start repairing.
Well, I guess we're just gonna have to kill them all.
Yes. Kill them
Go on,
all.
everyone. Kill him.
And he comes into the fight now. There. And that brings the cruise shot as well. That one whiffed. One hit. 2 hit. He's a miss. He's a hit. And he's a hit. So 4 of the other 6 cannons have hit. There we go. And then I'll do their damage. And that brings us to next in the turn order. Which is these 2. Now that that has worn off. The little rigger has had to maneuver around the back of the sloop and is now swinging back in to try and get in front of this trader as well. In doing so, they've taken a pot shot in your general direction, and you see 6 flashes of smoke and charge off the side of the ship. Oh, sorry, not 6, 3 of them. As the cannons that are on the side now facing you fire into action. The first one hits, the second one whiffs, and the third one hits. So 2 cannonballs strike the deck and puncture into the side of the Cirrus.
That's not nice of him.
You say that out loud?
Yeah.
Bhajiri laughs and goes, "We'll just have to return the favor."
Huh,
Yes.
that sounds like a good strategy.
I will totally do it, says Mug. Because I'm sure it's his turn next.
It will be shortly. Let me just take note of... Oh,
Oh, not yet?
hang on. I've just been realising I've subtracted health off the wrong ship. Let me quickly fix that. The trade ship is actually going to manoeuvre as well. Or try to, anyway. Let me just... There we go. That makes a lot more sense, actually. Sleep was taking a lot more of a beating than I thought it should be. And I realised that was because I was taking all the health off the Cirrus.
Oh.
So, fight's a little bit fairer than I thought it would be.
Okay.
Right, the captain on the trade ship now appears to be trying to force himself off of the pirate ship, and he succeeds as he spins hard on the wheel. He finds himself pushed clean out of the way of the sloop and is now pulling ahead and away from it in your direction. Mug, you get your shot.
Yeah, Mug is totally going rock this and pay them back, and yeah, I'm sure it will be fine.
Do not blow up a cannon in your face, please.
He knows what he's doing. Oh, okay. So it was accuracy that you had, right?
Yep.
Okay. It's not as bad as, yeah. And it is most probably not going to hit, but probably not going to hit the our ship either. Hopefully. So this one 11 only. So I guess it's just going to.
Rightio. You hit.
Oh.
You barely hit the underside of the ship.
Oh, okay.
You aim.
Mug is like, yes!
Mug, in your enthusiasm to shove the cannon back into place, you've slammed it hard and it's reset the aim slightly, and you fired almost underneath the ship, but you still managed to hit the hull.
Yeah.
You're fairly certain if the... Well, the crew around you are fairly certain if the ship had actually been moving, it would have been a clear miss.
Is it still 10d6?
It is still 10d6 damage.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. Mug is still clearly confident and doesn't even notice that he like clipped it. He just clipped it. He's like, yes! Just happy that he hit. Oh, okay. Okay, I think he manages to hit it in a strategically good position so far for the first half of it. Yeah, so even though it's just a clip, it's a fine clip.
And as you fire, the pirates finally pull themselves together and return fire. However, it seems like they were very rattled by the fact they crashed into the trader they were chasing. And only one of them appears to have actually landed a hit.
Oh, okay. So it was a very good clip, it seems.
That is a very good clip. Let me just subtract that off their hit point pool.
If we take the pirates down, we could steal stuff from them.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, if we take the pirates down, we can steal from them and get the payment from the traders as well.
Oh.
If we take the pirates down, we could steal from the traders too.
Yeah, I was just thinking, maybe we should just do that as well. Like,
Wait, if we
ooh,
take the pirates down, aren't they just going to fall down to the ground?
Why steal from the pirates when you could become the pirate?
what we could do is we kill the pirates, go get the payment from the trader, rob the trader blind while we're on his ship, and then we just fly down, fetch the pirate ships, and get the stuff that we need from that as well.
I'm good at finding treasure chests and stuff in, cabins and stuff. So I volunteer for that job.
So we are going to be like more dangerous pirates,
Oh yes.
rather than just pirates.
We're the most dangerous pirates there are. We don't even try and we set things on.
What
But
I've always
I thought we were not yet pirates.
no, but we're pirates as soon as we kill them.
Oh, are we?
Yeah.
We're pirates, although we may as well be pirates.
A couple of the crew are sort of looking at this discussion very, very curiously and glancing up towards Bhajiri.
It's okay, we're totally trustworthy.
I give Bhajiri a little thumbs up, and then I go, "Don't worry about it. Here's a banana."
He takes it and sort of gives you a thanks before going, "Where were you keeping this?"
Yeah.
In my jacket, that's why it's a bit of a steamy banana.
He then shrugs and then proceeds to eat it. With that, Edric, you're up.
Nice. Is there anybody that I could, well, basically fire a cannon at?
You're seeing lots of people running around on the decks of the ship. The cannon crews are rapidly trying to reload themselves. And there's others that are preparing rifles and other types of weapons.
With my knowledge of weapons and such, rifles, cannons, that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Do I notice one that's clearly more ready to attack than the others? Like one that would be quicker from my perspective.
In the chaos
You
of
want
the
other
fight,
people to have loaded it for you.
I will get you to
Yes.
do a perception check to see if there's anyone in particular that seems to be working really efficiently.
Perception?
Yep.
That's 16 total.
16 total. As you're scanning the battlefield, you notice two things. One of them is one of your cannon crews is working spectacularly well. The other is that there is a particular cannon crew on the other ship that seems to be a lot more held together than the others. It was the one that actually managed to scrape a hit on the Cirrus.
Get them. Get them.
I'd like to aim at them.
Kill
and
them.
Specifically, I'd like to aim at the guy who aimed that pistol earlier.
That cannon? Yep. Go for it.
Because there's always one person that specifically aims it a bit more than the rest.
Yep, you're aware of the positioning of how crews set up cannons and operate them, so you're able to quickly work out which of them would be the one doing the sighting.
I'm taking him out.
Go for it. Once again,
Or at
disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
You're aiming a person.
I rolled the same on both of those. So that's 6 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 is 16 to try and hit.
Yep, that's a hit.
With 4 stunt points.
4 stun points, 3 stun points.
Oh yeah, 3. Sorry, I missed.
All good. Nice try.
In that case, I'd like to mighty blow.
Go for it. With a cannon. Okay, go for it.
Well, mighty blow is the one where you inflict more damage, right?
Yeah. Roll your
Wait.
10d6 plus.
What?
You're firing cannon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll your 10d6. And plus the extra for the mighty blow.
And I'd also like to do rapid reload so that it's next shot, next round.
Go for it.
Because basically machine gun cannon firing
Yep.
is fun. 36, 42, 43, 4. Yeah, 44 damage.
Noted.
Nice.
Because that guy was mean to us. And I don't like people being mean to us. We are the kind of pirates.
Yes, the ones that kill everyone.
You see
Yeah.
the crew shove their cannon back into place, and you wait for the perfect moment, knowing exactly where he's supposed to be when he's sighting and fire. The cannoneer gets in behind, leans over the cannon to sight down it, and you see the second of panic and realization as to what's about to happen when a cannonball ricochets off the cannon and hits him square in the face.
Nice.
Wait a second. You're
This
saying
is the
I shot
best
him.
ever!
You're saying I shot him via his cannon?
You, because he had his face so close down to the cannon, you hit both the cannon and his face.
This is literally the best day of my life.
This is so good.
Pick a number between 1 and
love
6.
5.
Noted.
Oh.
Oh, what does it do?
I don't know. I picked 5 though.
Clearly, you have to explain to us.
You see the cannon shove back a little bit, but nothing major seems to happen after that.
Oh man.
Oh,
You are seeing if you've blown apart their cannon too.
that could have been epic. I found a new goal. I have to make a cannon shot from my own.
Ah, help!
Now, Bhajiri then brings the ship in closer. And as he does, he puts you on a course that now has the tiny little rigger of a ship between the sloop and yourselves.
As the sloop was readying its attack. That's good protection.
He just winks at you when he hears that. And that brings up the next in the turn order, which is actually the rigger itself, who you hear a lot of shouts and complaints.
Wait, we hear lots of shouts coming from them?
Yep. They don't seem to be thrilled that they're between you and the sloop. One of them
Wait,
manages to, however, hit the Cirrus with a cannon.
Oh no. I have to pay them back again, says Mug.
Do it, do it, do it!
Okay, that made maths really easy.
What?
I'm just doing
Is that an,
damage
is
maths.
that an uh-oh?
No. Rightio. That's right, you did the last bit of damage to a person, not to the ship itself.
Yep.
Noted.
So far, I've only done 1 shot of damage to a ship. 2 shots.
Oh, good. The
Yeah.
trade ship is now pulling away from the fight, but is turning now to try and offer support by the looks of it, but it needs to reposition itself to open fire again.
It's pretty nice to even offer support.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Maybe we won't rob them after all.
Maybe we'll rob them when they're
Maybe.
asleep.
Yeah.
Most of the
Maybe
crew
we won't kill them.
Most of the crew are now reloading their cannons. Bingo, are you helping your crew reload? Or are you sitting like a mascot on top of your cannon?
I will sit like a mascot for now, and I will have a conversation about what to do with the other ship before we start doing things. I will shout across to the bastard, as I am not calling him in character, but I should be like, right, so what's the plan? Are we wrecking both ships? Are we wrecking the big bad ship? Are we exploiting? What are we doing?
I reckon we kill the big ship, then we rob the small ship, and then we get out.
Okay, Captain, are you okay with this?
This is too complicated
His silence
to
means
me.
he's okay with this.
Mug, all you need to know for now is we kill the biggest ship. That is not us or that one.
Shoot the ship. Shoot the ship. I
shoot
can
that
do that. That one, yes. I'll shoot that one. The one that's shooting us.
Yes.
Yes.
The big one that's
Yeah.
shooting us.
Oh, okay, and then the other one comes later. Okay, I got it. I know the plan.
We're really good with plans.
Yeah. Yeah,
Of
we are
course
really
we are.
clever.
We are the smartest. Of course we are.
We're really good. We're really good at plans. We are excellent at plans.
Just let me shoot it. Let me shoot it. I can totally do this.
One of the crew points out that we're still reloading it, sir.
Well, we do it faster then.
Oh, I could throw a grenade. If we're close enough for me to lob one, I'm not sure. How close are we to the other ship?
There's a couple of 100 meters between all the ships.
Ah! Okay, maybe not.
The closest one still being the small jury-rigged one that is still about 250, 300 meters off your ship.
No. Alright, I'll hold it.
Noted. With that, the ship's maneuver and the pirate sloop starts to peel away.
No, cowards.
Oh yeah, let's get them. They're running away from us. That is not okay.
It seems like there's a lot of confusion on the ship,
shoot them.
and they're not doing very well at maneuvering the ship.
Still, they're trying to run away. That's not chivalrous.
You suck!
And your mama probably makes bad macaroni.
There is a general level of laughter from the crew at that
You're
particular
just scared
result.
to fight us.
And Edric, you're up.
So I'd like to do that thing that I really liked with, firing a cannon at someone.
Go for it.
Now that the smaller ship is in between us, and I haven't found a captain-looking figure there yet, is there still a captain-looking figure there?
You see that it's a much smaller ship. There is a lot less people on it, and you can clearly make out the person who is holding on to the helm.
Okay, I'd like to aim for his head.
Go for it. Roll at disadvantage.
In the middle of his face.
Roll for to hit. Disadvantage again, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There's a difference between hitting a ship that's larger than a couple of country barns and a difference between hitting a small person.
Somehow it sounds sensible. Cannon at face.
Yep.
that it's not going to go as well as expected.
This is why Mug just aims at the big things.
4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4.
Oh well, wait, it's Edric again.
40.
Did you have a second round?
Everyone had to reload their cannons apart from Edric.
I used the stunt to keep my cannon reloaded.
Ah, okay.
That's a number. 14.
Yep, that hits.
Ooh. He's not gonna have a good day, I assume. Unless, I roll 10 ones, but...
It is possible.
I didn't even jinx it with that. I was scared for a second.
I was scared I was going to have to describe how someone survived a cannonball hit.
What?
Technically, if you roll low enough, someone will survive being hit by a cannonball.
Backfire. That's not what you want.
No, you kind of want the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
The
you want to
cannon's
explode
supposed to
them.
go into their ship, not ours, you muppet!
See, next time someone rolls a 111 on a cannon, I'll probably make it that instead of grabbing gunpowder, someone grabbed a sack of flour.
Oh no! Oh no! We have already experienced how terrible an idea that is.
I rolled 39 damage. Oh, and because my roll had 3 stunt points, I'd like to put it in taunt to make them, pay attention to me shooting the fuck out of the important people there.
Yep.
I'd also like to use Pierce Armor. Oh, you know what? How big is their ship? Is 2 yards, is that enough to throw him off the ship as well? Like his body?
Yeah, it's not the world's biggest ship. It's in scale, it's probably about 7 meters long and about 2 meters, 3 meters wide.
Oh wow, that's tiny.
It is, as I said, not the world's biggest ship.
It's like an airship rowboat.
Yep. I'd like to taunt them so that everybody notices it.
Nice.
I'd also like to the skirmish one to knock him off his ship.
Yep.
And I'd like to rapid reload because I hate wasting a turn on reloading.
Yep.
That's by far my favorite stunt as well.
So I just dropped a picture of roughly how big this thing is.
It's a little fishing boat.
That's the pirate ship.
Yep.
Wow.
The smaller of the
They
two.
want to be pirates. They need more bloody money.
They're fishing for, attention.
You get the sneaky suspicion that this particular one was their scout ship, and the other one was the larger pirate ship. The person holding onto the helm is blasted clean off the ship mid-conversation with one of his crewmates, who blinks for a few seconds before realizing what happened, and then rushes over to grab the wheel.
Doesn't rush to grab him, he's fallen over the edge.
He's going, nah, fuck you, mate. This is my time.
He's like, promotion!
Look at me. I am the captain now.
And with that, he's taken the helm. Interesting. He looks at you, Edric, and then he pulls hard on the helm and actually turns the ship and ducks it slightly below the level of the Cirrus as he tries to pull away.
Can I drop a grenade onto it?
Yes! That would be amazing, Bingo!
Roll
Well-
bingo. Roll an attack.
Yeah.
As he is
Come on.
ducked underneath your cannons and underneath the cirrus to try to escape.
Ooh. Okay. 16.
Bingo, seeing this, you scoot yourself up to the end of your cannon.
Fire grenade.
A fire grenade. Noted.
Because that does most damage and also sets things on fire.
Right. You lean out, prep the grenade, hold it, and wait. And at the right moment, you drop and watch it fall towards the balloon above this little tiny ship.
Yeah.
How much damage did you roll?
18.
Noted.
I like fire grenades. They make me happy on the inside.
And we're gonna let it burn, burn, burn.
Pick a number between 1 and 6.
1. We didn't start the fire. Wait, we definitely started the fire, and it's still burning. And we're
Your grenade
walking
hits
away.
the balloon, explodes into flame, which run up the rope, the riggings, and all over a huge section of the balloon. And then in a split second, there is a hissing, a pop, and the whole balloon is ablaze.
Yes! I am the victorious Bingo! Boom, boom!
I am become death. Well done.
The
Bingo
shouts
will
that you
actually
heard,
lift up his mask, peer down, like, so you can get a proper view. Yeah! And then quickly put the mask back on again before anyone sees his face.
as you look, you see that the ship is rapidly falling towards the ground. The crew are doing their best to try and slow their descent, but it looks like it's going to be a very rough landing for them.
Can I wave to them?
Any of them that can see up past the smoke and the burning balloon will see a little hand waving over the side of the ship.
And then a little middle finger.
Noted. And that brings it to the rest of the cannons.
Oh no.
You are going to shoot at the fleeing sloop. Well, whoever that was didn't like the idea of them escaping. And him. Okay, he couldn't hit the broadside of the barn. Well, he was fucked off. Right. 5 of your 6 cannons absolutely hated their guts.
Wait, what?
5 of your cannons hit a sloop and hit hard. As in some of them stunted.
They learned from us.
Which, based on the fact that that happened...
So far, I have the feeling that we're actually masterful shots with these cannons.
Yeah, I
Like-
think we have so far been good.
Yeah, like all of us have been really, really good with the weapons.
Yeah, even Mog has been quite
Yeah.
efficient. Mog has been actually hitting the other ship.
Quite a lot as well.
Mm.
I'm proud of Mug. And of Bingo. I mean, Bingo set the sky ablaze.
Bingo
and
wants
now Mug will blow up the ship. now that you said it, it will get jinxed.
I set fire to the sky. Now you set fire to
Mug?
the moon.
Your shot.
Oh, yeah, Mug is up.
All the
Let's do this, Becky.
all the other crew have fired simultaneously. A half second later, Mug shot sails out afterwards.
Okay, it's not quite as jinx as it could be, but I think it's going to miss. Or we'll see. Or so that's that's actually 11 again.
Noted. Mug, realizing that you're slightly behind the other cannon crews, you shove your cannon forward in your eager pursuit to get your shot out at the same time.
Yeah.
And your shot sails slightly wide of the sloop, now that it is turned away and is presenting a slightly narrower profile to the ship.
Let's chase them!
All the other cannons, bar one, however, managed to sink some solid hits into the sloop and are punching holes and causing damage, and it looks like more than one fire has started to break out below decks.
So once
Let's
again,
chase them!
we definitely did start the fire.
And with that,
We 100% definitely did start.
I found out that we might need a thing.
A thing?
can I get
Yes.
perception checks from everyone?
Oh.
Rosie, incendiary cannonballs.
Oh.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds exciting. And
Incendiary cannonballs means that they explode into fire on contact.
Yes.
Ah. Oh, Mug is actually paying attention.
Rightio. Bingo, you're too busy staring off the side at the
And laughing maniacally.
maniacally at the tiny ship that is rapidly falling down to the desert sands below.
Luckily, I rolled much higher than me.
Silas, you're sitting back a little bit and enjoying the deafening damage that your crews are wrecking on this sloop. Mug, you're the only one that seems to have noticed that the flag on top of the ship and at the back are being wound back in, and someone seems to be running up something white.
On the pirate ship.
Yep, on the pirate ship.
Okay, but Mug doesn't know what this means.
What I will do is I'll get you to roll an intelligence check.
It could be amazing if Mug's the only one who knows. Actually gonna matter because Mug doesn't know.
Oh look, they changed their captain, so they changed their flag.
Yeah. Okay, so does a 9 make it, Glenn?
Right. So, Mug, in your experience, the only time you've seen in combat anyone using sheets or anything like that was in a particular fight with against a caged
Yes.
minotaur, in which someone used a sheet to antagonize the minotaur to attack them.
Oh!
And you're seeing this sheet and are likening it to that exact same thing. You're feeling like they're trying to taunt you.
Oh, okay. So Mug is going to point out that they're taunting us. They think we are weak. We must destroy them, says Mug.
Well, let's make a more bitch then.
Mug,
Silas is not actually paying attention to what Mug is pointing at. Mug's saying, let's kill them, and Silas is just going, okay.
Mug's cannon crew also didn't notice what he was pointing at.
I like the fact that Mug is the only one and he's too stupid to understand.
And with that, we return to the top of the order.
I mean, the thing is, he doesn't have any experience with things like this. Like cage fighting doesn't really have this.
Glenn,
Yep.
is there anyone like what are the crew doing now that the white flag is being raised?
The crew of the ship. Most of
Of
them
that
have
ship.
most of them have dropped their weapons, and a lot of them are looking in your direction.
Okay, which is the biggest, baddest looking dude?
You see a couple of people that fit the bill on the ship.
I'd like to take the one who's in the middle of the most people, so that it's the highest shock value.
Yep.
I'd like to shoot his face off with a cannon.
Go for it.
Yes. Yes, my lord and savior.
Glenn?
Yep.
So I've been using different die for each roll because, well, I don't like rolling the same ones that high all the time.
Mm-hmm.
This is a legendary hit,
Ooh.
which
Oh.
means +6 + 4.
Roll your damage and use your stunts, and I will describe.
Okay. Well. Ooh, Glenn.
Yep.
Could I ask for something?
Yeah.
Which is not entirely suitable, but also possibly is a little bit.
And what is that?
Could I use sway the crowd to make them terrified?
You may.
Okay, so that's 2 stunt points. Then I'd like to use a dual strike for the other 4 stunt points, which means that the same cannonball,
Mm-hmm.
I get to reroll and see if it hits someone else as well.
Oh.
Like someone behind him, for example.
Go for it.
That's 15.
Noted. Oh boy.
It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
So, Silas, you have a rough idea of how many people it takes to crew a sloop, and it seems like a lot of them had been gathering up on deck, and you pick out the biggest, meanest one you can see and aim your cannon and fire at him. They have been gathering up in a group on deck, and your shot nails him clean through the chest and proceeds to go through the crowd that have gathered behind him.
Perfection.
Are they within sound range if I or something?
You're fairly certain if you bellow loud enough, you could potentially be heard. As the smoke clears from your shot, you're fairly certain that you managed to hit 8 separate people with that one cannonball.
I'd like to go stand on the cannon
Yep.
because, well, looking badass.
With your foot up, like gas.
Yep. So I'm standing there all badass, like, and I'd like to yell out, "Surrender now!" Or, I'll do that again.
Oh wait, so Mug is now shouting, "Oh yes, bastard! You show them why they shouldn't raise a white flag at us again."
A white
This
flag, you say?
bastard. Yeah, they were totally taunting us. See, they were using that sheet to taunt us. That's what we did with the Minotaur as well.
It's. I'll return to you with the story of the red flag.
Well, does the color matter? It's a
Yes.
flag. You use it to taunt people, right?
No, this one is we surrender.
Wait,
Then again, they deserve
why
it.
would
Let's
you
go.
They
surrender?
surrender.
While you're discussing this, you see one of the sailors on the enemy sloop pull out the flag and hold it lengthways, while another one is doing this. holding his hands out and pointing at it as it, we've already surrendered.
These are the pirates, right?
Yep.
Can I signal for Bhajiri to try and bring us closer? Because I
Can-
feel like this is the perfect moment to board.
Can Bingo stick up his middle finger and point at it with his other hand, like,
Bhajiri brings the ship in close. Most of the crew are still weapons ready just in case. But it looks like the fight has completely gone out of these sailors.
I'd like to walk over and kick the corpse of the guy I just shot clean through, like the big guy.
Avast, you scabby dog! Lay down your arms!
Can I signal for crew to start collecting the guns, like the pistols, the rifles, that kind of stuff?
Yep, the crew
Ooh.
leap aboard with you and leap into action.
Yeah.
They start pushing the pirates up to one end of the ship and gathering all the weapons they can find and
Oh.
moving them across to the Cirrus.
Mug is like, it's no fair that they surrendered. I still
Um,
wanted to try to shoot them.
Mug,
Mm.
I promise you, you can keep one to punch it.
Okay, which one can I punch?
You pick one.
Yeah, you've earned it.
Oh. This is difficult. I don't usually pick.
Can I get some members of the crew to keep an eye on these guys while I go and investigate the rest of their ship for shiny things?
Can do.
Just
Ooh,
while, Mug is deciding, because this could be a while.
Yeah, could I take the time as well to go and find the armory? Specifically the armory.
Yep.
I want any and all schematics for weapons, for machinery, and all of the weapon parts that I can find.
Noted. I'll get you both to
I
do
want to find
perception
someone's
checks.
diary and read it in
In front of this crowd. You're just humiliating the bitch that is dead on the floor now.
front.
Right. Both of you do perception checks.
That's a no can do, Chief.
Perception. All right, come on. Yeah. 12.
Noted. So what were you looking for in specific?
Shiny things, personal items, anything embarrassing, aka hidden under pillows, under mattresses, stuffed in something.
Noted. So you're off like a rocket down below decks. You quickly make your way from room to room to get the layout of the ship. It's a lot smaller than the Cirrus, so it takes a lot less time, although it does seem to carry almost as many crew. You make your way through the sleeping quarters, you rummage through stuff. Some of the crew are now down here with you as well, looking for anything valuable to bring up on deck. Along the way, you find a couple of items that you think would be good and shove them into a pillow case that you turn into a sack and make your way down below into the hold.
Bingo is dragging another sack.
Well, I forgot to bring mine.
As you enter the
Are you
hold...
cheating on your sack?
I'm in a poly-sack relationship.
Okay, then it's all fine.
As you make your way below decks, you find the areas where they've been storing spare ammunition and powder, but you also find what loot they have already.
Can I run back up, get another pillowcase, fill it with powder, and then keep looking for more stuff?
Are you making a bomb?
Noted.
Really big pillow-sized bomb.
You grab a whole pillowcase and, thinking about it for a second, grab a couple of more pillowcases and layer them so that it will hold it better, and then rush back down and fill the pillowcase as full as you can with gunpowder, and then tie it on off and throw it over your shoulder.
Yeah.
In the hold with you is crates of gold and loot and other items that appear to have been pilfered off various traders.
Oh, I want it all. I want all of it. Are the items exciting?
You find one large chest that you open up, and it is gold bars. You find
Oh,
a
Get down here!
you find silks and fabrics. You
Holy
find
Mine!
bottles of wine,
mine.
and the last item you find is a small, tiny box that has, when you open it, spices.
Mine!
Some of the crew rush down when they hear you shout, and then just start laughing when they hear you go from item to item and go, mine, mine, mine.
Are you one of the seagulls?
The gold we split, but these tiny treasury items. I'm say first!
Mug is still looking for the best person to punch. It's a difficult choice if it's just one person. And he's now wondering if it's one punch or if he can punch them multiple times.
No, you can keep it
He's
to
unclear.
punch it. That's what we promised.
Yeah, keep a pet. You can punch all of them once now. You can punch all of them once now and then just keep one specially for later.
It's a practice punch.
Yeah.
A test
Oh.
punch, basically. A test ride.
So you wanna be a boxer?
That's a lot of punching.
Well, you like
I
punching,
will-
don't you?
Yes, I will do it. This is a task fit for me. So
Mug
Mug is,
sacrifices
yeah.
punch.
Mug is going through the pirate crew and punching them and seeing which one has the best reaction to punch.
Is there one that starts crying immediately when the dwarf marches up?
The dwarf marches up to find someone to punch, and Mug, pick a number
From what?
between 1 and 6.
1 and 6. Okay. 4.
Noted. There's one that catches your eye. He's sticking his chin out and acting tough, and you decide
Oh, yeah.
he's the one that's the best to practice on.
Yes.
And so you
Beat
walk
him
on up,
down.
size him up, and throw a punch. Based on your height, you punch him clear in the nads.
Oh! Nice.
He doubles clean over and falls to the deck, coughing.
Oh, if I was there, I'd be applauding you.
That was a good punch. I'm happy. This fight was worth it.
Can I be meanwhile stripping every bed of their pillowcases so that I can fill them?
You may.
Excellent. And then the crew can help to take all the gold. And I will keep 1 golden bar.
Noted. You hide it in the gunpowder.
Oh no, I'll put it in my pocket. I'm going to use it in a moment.
Noted.
Uh-oh. Alchemy bomb.
Bingo, in your search for other items, you also find a bunch of love letters written by some sailor named Stevo.
Say again?
You find a bunch of love letters written by a sailor going by the name of Stevo to Sweet Gentle Jim, the barman in Port Lilith.
Wait, is that the barman who threw the bomb?
No, you haven't been to Port Lilith yet.
Oh.
Okay.
Molly.
I will take those with me, and I will go up on deck, and I will ask for which one of them is Stevo.
Several of the crew of the ship look at you, and then one of them points at the guy that's gasping for breath on the ground.
I will hold the letters in front of him and say, I shall see that these are delivered, whether you survive or not.
He's a bit busy trying to pull himself together to realise what you're waving in his face.
Can I slap him so that he pays attention to Bingo?
Aww. You guys.
Oh, Mug can punch Sam.
Oh yeah, you still have to punch him. Oh, and also I'm not there because I'm still searching for weapons and weapon designs and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm not the one doing the slaps to make him pay attention.
Yep. Silas, you're below decks. Still, you've sent some of the crew to fan out to try and find any of the other weapons that have not made it up above deck yet, and to start transferring gunpowder and shot across to the Cirrus.
Does this... Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, in the meantime, you have found the room that served as their armory. It is a mess.
Oh, you fucking...
You're not a fan of whoever's in charge of this place, and by the size of the cannonball hole that is through the door, you're fairly certain you managed to also hit the armory in the process, which made it... You're not certain if potentially better or worse.
Could I immediately march up?
Yep.
Back to the top deck? Who's in charge of the armory?
Some of the crew look at the guy that is doubled over on the ground.
Oh my god, yes!
Decide that it's probably not a good idea to not answer correctly. And one of them says, He's the guy you shot with the cannon, sir.
I'd like to... Did I notice them looking at the guy who's toppled over?
They weren't being very subtle about it.
So know that it might be a lie that they say it's I shot.
By the way they were looking at him, and then some of them looked at Mug, you're fairly certain it was more they didn't want to wind up looking like him in the next couple of seconds.
I'd like to pull out my pistol.
No.
Oh, you pissed him off now!
I'd like to find the smallest looking dude.
That would be me.
No, the smallest looking dude that I'd like to kill.
I hope that isn't me.
Oh.
You're specifically on the not kill.
Yeah.
There is a halfling amongst the pirates.
I'd like to grab his nose, squeeze it shut so that his mouth opens, and when it does, I'd like to jam the pistol bar. The what do you call it? The part the bullet comes out of.
The barrel.
Barrel.
The barrel. That's the word. Straight up his mouth.
Noted.
And then I'd like to go. You sure it's that guy?
The guy on the end of your gun that starts nodding vigorously.
Okay. And I let go of his nose.
You're my new hero.
I'd like to let go of his nose
Yep.
and then punt kick him off the ship.
Right, I'll get you to roll a strength.
Shit.
So, Glenn, at what point did you realise this had turned into a campaign?
Into a what?
An evil campaign.
The second I mentioned pirates.
Here's hoping it's not that difficult because this is a 12.
Noted.
I mean, this campaign is perfect for letting the inner psychopath out.
And the outer psychopath.
You step back away from this halfling who heaves a sigh of relief that this pistol is now out of his mouth. And then you spin and deliver a kick to the side of his head that sends him staggering over to the railing, and he flips over the edge.
Bye.
Whee! Oh, can I just whistle as he goes down?
Is there that moment where he looks down and goes, hey, there's no floor here, and then he drops, or is it like more realistic than that?
He's just flailed clean over the edge.
Another one bites the dust.
Mug is
Another
like,
one bites the dust.
where is the splash? Oh, right.
No splash, Captain.
Mug. In this case, the
Yeah.
splash most decidedly more sound. And with that, I'm gonna go. So, did anyone here make any designs for weapons? Anything useful?
There is a great deal of shaking of heads.
I figured as much. You don't really look useful. So, who's next? And I point at the railing.
They look at each other.
Mug
Look
is like,
at you.
hey, don't get rid of all of the punch bags.
Okay, we'll leave him alive. So you can punch him. But give him a good punch. Like you did with that one. And I point at the one that's doubled
Yeah,
over.
which one do you want as your pet?
I don't know yet. Whichever one you don't need, I guess.
Well, I do think that it's your responsibility to walk and feed him and all that kind of stuff.
I think this one should stay alive because he has a boyfriend.
In the meantime, can I get dex from everyone?
My bingo dice saved me.
Woohoo!
6 plus. Glenn,
Yep.
is this dexterity acrobatics or
You can use acrobatics.
score? Is 14. I had more numbers. Why is my number? You're doing well, Mug.
Yeah.
Noted.
I have the feeling that we're winning.
Shh.
While you're discussing what to do, two of the sailors bolt, trying to head below decks, past the guards.
No.
Bingo, you go to snatch at them and just miss. Silas, you go to jump in front of them and can't quite make it in time. Mug turns and throws a arm out and grabs one of the two as he goes past. Mug, you've got a free attack.
Oh, I got my punching bag, says Mug.
Do it. Let's see how hard you can throw him. Punch him. Mug, I don't think you can punch him hard enough that you make him cry in one hit.
Maybe not. So, for fist fighting, what do I add?
It is accuracy.
Accuracy. Accuracy, okay.
And then strength for damage.
Yeah. So that's 14.
Yeah, that's a definite hit.
Yeah. Okay. And so damage is 1d6.
Plus your strength.
That's fine. Oh, it's too bad I don't have any stump points. So 8 points of damage.
You pull him down to your level and then sock him really hard in the jaw.
Oh.
The other sailor, however, ducks below deck as
I got him!
two of the crew rush forward to help Mug hold this sailor that tried to run.
I mean, I'm not sure there's any help needed. But it's probably just beating them up.
Well, they form a bit of a ring to stop him going anywhere else.
Okay.
Keep it on the other ones as well! Disappears down the stairs.
Yep. Bingo, you see this sailor running down towards the below decks, through the halls, and down towards the hold.
Can I remember what was in the hold when we went down there? I mean, we've cleaned it out pretty much, but what was in there?
You remember that there was the treasure down there, but you also remember that there was the gunpowder, weapons, not weapons, but shot, and the food supplies and any water or alcohol they had.
Okay, I will ready a grenade and give chase.
Noted. You follow him on down, and he dives down the stairs into the hold and rushes over towards where the gunpowder was.
Hold up my grenade. If I throw this at you now, the whole thing's going kaboom with you in the middle.
He looks across at you and says, "And that would make my life so much easier." And then starts pulling out a tinder and some flint and a very small knife, and starts trying to light the gunpowder.
Okay, so I am going to throw my blast grenade, because that's not fire,
Yep.
at
Ooh,
him.
that's more of the blowy him away thing.
Yeah. 14.
Noted. That's a hit.
A
Roll your damage.
roll my damage. Okay. 12.
Noted. And pick a number between 1 and 6.
5.
Noted. The grenade lands right next to him, and you see the faintest spark as he manages to light his tinder and tries to shove it into the open top of one of the barrels that had the gunpowder in it, just as your grenade goes off. The blast throws him and the barrels around, throwing him hard into the side of the ship, and knocks the barrels over. The tiny bit of flame drifts down and lands in a pile of gunpowder right next to where the sailor was.
For once, I quite literally did not start the fire!
Piss on it. Piss on it.
How long roughly until this thing goes up?
Well, let me just do that. Not all the gunpowder goes, but it's like a cannon exploding on itself.
Oof.
And where there was a side of a ship and a sailor, there is now a gaping hole and wind whistling through.
Okay. Is it still on fire, or is it alright?
The fire is out, and there is no further damage from that. There is, however, no sailor, and there is no more gunpowder.
I was going to say, if he's still there, I'll get my dagger out and stab him in the face, but if he's gone, then that's okay. Can I go peer over the edge and make sure he's not hanging off the edge of the ship in any way?
You look through the hole, and there is not an awful lot below, apart from you see a couple of the barrels that didn't detonate sailing off down towards the sands below.
And is the guy disappearing down there as well?
You presume what is left of him is sailing down there as well.
Okay. Okay, one! What a waste of perfectly good gunpowder! I'll shout down after his non-existent remains. And two! I hope you land in the middle of a crocodile's ass! That made more sense in my head! Ah, he can't hear me anyway. And I will skip back upstairs and inform everyone that he is gone to smithereens and definitely not a better place.
Huh? What's a smithereen? How can you go there?
You don't want to. It means you're blown to pieces.
Oh, so did you punch him?
I did. I punched him really hard and he exploded. It was brilliant. It was a shame you weren't there, really.
Well, okay, I need to try it on this guy.
Yeah, you should. Have you picked who's going to be your pet to beat up yet?
Oh, yeah. This one that tried to... Like,
Okay.
These ones are the best punching bugs.
I'll point at the big guy again and be like, because that guy needs to stay alive for...
I mean, you know, as long as they are healthy, I don't need to punch them, right?
Can I tell if the other sailors knew about the boyfriend?
You can't seem to quite tell at this stage because they seem to be in absolute terror of the lot of you.
I'd like to strut around with my magnificent socks on full display and my mask on, like...
As you walk past, you hear one person muttering under his breath, and I thought we were crazy.
Crazy! Crazy! You haven't seen the last of us! This is not the tip of the pyramid of how crazy we can get. You slide down the side and there's just crazy. There's a whole river of crazy at the bottom, and then that river leads you down to a stream full of crazy, and then you go over a waterfall of crazy, and then you hit an ocean of crazy, and then there are sharks.
I don't think we are crazy. We are just...
No, you are perfectly normal.
Yes. I'm very good at punching.
Yeah, you're efficient and we're nuts. It's a great combination.
Yes. I mean, okay, let's say it's simple. We are good at fighting.
And blowing people up, and destroying them, and stealing all their stuff.
Let's be honest, we're just good at everything.
We really are.
And we are not even pirates yet, I think.
I think we have earned the title by now. We can call ourselves pirates. What do you think? I'll ask the pirate crew.
What's their flag like? The black pirate flag?
Yes, can we have a flag? I want it.
So the flag that this ship had been flying was a complete skeleton holding a cutlass and a pistol.
Guys?
Yeah, we could work on it, but we could use it for now.
Can we use this as ours for now?
I'll go get it. I'll go climb up to wherever it's hanging and go get it.
You climb up the rigging and gather up the one that had been taken down from on top of the ship. And one of the crew members gathers up one of the others that had been at the rear.
So we're now capable of flying a flag for the seaport of Port Marley?
I think we should get... I think we should get a big black flag, and then we should paint our own logo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it's useful to gather more flags, though, for different countries. Because then
we
people
could
won't
have a flag
get
for every ship we kill.
They're our trophies.
That can be our thing. Like, you know how some people keep heads, body parts, or toenail clippings? Right? We can have a collection of flags.
Yes.
It's quite wholesome, actually, when you think about it.
We're just hanging flags to celebrate.
Exactly. It's National Flag Day.
Every day is Flag Day.
Every day is Flag Day.
Also, every day is Cannon Day.
Every day is a day you could be struck by cannonball. Die.
Yeah, look at this poor sod. I don't think he expected this in a... I just point at, like, Charlie, which is what I'm calling him now. I know he's probably had a different name, but now he's Charlie.
Oh, when we hired the last group of people, was one of them a really good chef?
Ah.
Ooh, do we have someone?
I don't remember. Oi, you lot! Are any of you very good at being a chef? Or a cook?
Wasn't Wisp the one who has been cooking all of the meals at the ship so far?
Yeah, needs
Tarin
a
has.
rest.
Oh, it was Tarin.
Mm.
Yeah, could do with a rest, you know. Any of you? Any of you any good in the kitchen?
You see a couple of hands shakily rise. They don't like where it's gone with volunteers in the past.
I'll walk up to them like, really? Or are you just trying to save your own skin? Hmm?
One of them goes, well, we'd have to eat the food too, wouldn't we?
I don't know. Could always make some for us and not for you. I'm giving them ideas. Shit. I take it back. We couldn't hire you for fear of having you poison us. Never mind.
Like, so are we going to do anything with these people, or
Well,
what?
Bingo is currently recruiting a cook. You've already recruited a... You know what? I think we need some target practice as well for the gun practice.
Oh.
That's what you call it. Handling these people.
Did you say that out loud?
Yes.
Could we
Also-
tar and feather them and fire at them like...
Yes. Also, at that point, Silas pulls down the scarf,
Mm-hmm.
pulls down the hood, so that the majestic red braided mohawk and the tattooed head show up.
Mm-hmm.
And he lifts the glasses, and it reveals like two crazy eyes, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like screaming psycho. That's how he says that.
Noted. So a few of the crew figure that they've got nothing to lose at this point, and so they rush
Where to?
at you, Silas.
Okay.
A couple of them try to tackle guards out of the way, and at least 3 of them are rushing towards you.
Glenn, I still had my pistols in my hands.
Yep, go for it.
I'd like to shoot the first 2, like full on between the eyes.
Yep,
Is that 2 attacks?
that is 2 attacks, yep.
Okay, that's a...
Almost to the point, it's an attack. Roll your aimed attack. Because the second pistol actually gives you a rapid reload for free, effectively.
Oh, yeah, fair. So that would be 5 plus 4 plus 4. And it's an aimed attack. Does that
Plus
give
1.
me any... Okay, so that's plus another 1. Is 18.
Yep, you hit him.
Nice.
Roll your damage.
That's 3, 1d6 plus. And I have 4 stunned points, which would be lightning attack, I guess, because, well, why not?
Yep. So roll your damage on that one.
And I'd like to also taunt.
Go for it.
The damage on the first shot is 11.
Yep.
And the second shot is 3 is 9 plus 4 is 13.
Yep.
And then damage would be... Oh, that's 1 plus 6 makes 7. So
Noted.
it's 18 damage to the guy that chases in first.
So that was 18 damage to the first one? Yep.
Yes.
Noted. So he slows as he's hit twice by bullets. The second one weaves past him and tries to tackle you. Can I get you to roll a dodge?
Dodge. Is that dexterity?
Dexterity and acrobatics, if you want to use it, or athletics.
I'd like to acrobatics out of very much like using the swashbuckler style of fighting, you know, just sidestepping, that kind of stuff. And that's 9 plus 6 makes 15.
Noted. You sidestep barely out of the way. You actually feel his fingers clutching at the edges of your clothing as he tries to actually crash tackle you off the ship.
Ooh, kill him.
Oh.
And he goes skidding along the deck and hits the rail.
Well, clearly you have chosen to die.
Something in Silas snaps. There's cannons here, right?
There are cannons still on the deck.
In fact, is this in the middle of the ship where you specified the cannon was still loaded before I shot the man who was going to shoot it? Therefore, there's still a loaded cannon there, right?
In fact, you are fairly certain all the cannons in this area are roughly still loaded.
Okay. Okay. Can I single-handedly pull a cannon back and aim it at him?
Oh, you would have to do a strength for that. They normally take 3 people.
I'll help.
That would make the strength easier, I guess.
I'm only little.
Mug, can you also help?
Yeah, I want to fight.
Mug drops his friend on the deck and rushes on over.
I'm going to point my pistol at the guy who Mug just dropped.
Yep.
And I'm going to go, you don't want to get up. You really don't want to get up now. And with that, I'm going to turn my attention back to the cannon. And I'm going to try and move the cannon so that I can shoot the bitch who just tried to push me off the ship.
He's shaking his head from where he's hit it on the railing and pulling himself up as you and the others spin this cannon around and aim at him.
Do I roll to try and hit?
You'll have to roll at disadvantage as usual.
Oh. Oh. Wait, what's higher? Yes, 554 is probably the lowest.
Yeah, that hits.
I rolled a 663 and a 554. Considering I don't need to reload this thing, and I have 5 stunt points, can I... you know what? I'm just going to lethal blow it.
Because of the chances of ones, please roll damage.
Of course, that makes 12d6 damage.
Not that there's a high chance of Eddie dealing 12 damage.
Yeah, no, this is not 12 damage. That's 5. Quickly doing math.
All good.
So that's...
Can I sit on the cannon while he fires it?
20, 26 to 30. Plus my perception is 3. Yeah, 37 damage. And of course, Bingo is welcome on the cannon.
Yes!
And with that, my little psychopath deals 37 damage to the guy who's lying on the side of the railing.
Yep, you blast a whopping hole in him and his body goes flying off the side of the ship.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm going to look around and notice that all the other cannons are loaded and go, you know, we've got enough cannons to do them all like that.
Ooh. See, and that's how you create a fun afternoon.
I've got nowhere to be.
You know what? That's actually a good idea. So, who's next?
As you say
That one.
that, the other ship pulls up alongside.
What other ship? What other ship?
There's still the trader.
Oh, the one. That's okay then. The ones that we aren't fighting.
The one that we're showing we're psychopaths.
Yeah. So don't mess with us, or we'll be the other people who you get the chase run away.
And seeing as we just murdered 2 ships, are you sure you want to try this?
I shall wave at them and make sure there are still some crew on our own ship. Hello.
I'm gonna gesture to them and then put my pistol away as like a bigger gesture.
The ship pulls up alongside on the opposite end, so where you've blasted this poor sod into space, suddenly the trade ship moves up along the side and lashes itself. The captain and crew step onto the deck
Welcome.
and over the bodies of some of the pirates and look around the ship and then look across at you lot and go,
Can we go ta-da?
Bingo, still astride the cannon, does a little jazz hands ta-da. The different crew members are made up of a mixture of orcs and humans.
That's on the trade ship.
On the trade ship. A human man in rather nice looking clothes and a silk shirt looks at you, Bingo, and goes, "Who's the captain here?"
Me!
Well then, I believe I owe you our sincerest thanks for the rescue there.
He will hold out one of his hands like ladies do. He doesn't know what to do. Aha!
He takes his hat and offers a polite bow and goes, "I'll, if you wish it, return word of your good deeds to Fort Hath and the lands of Hathad, and make sure that all who sail these skies are well aware of the good deeds of you and your ship, Captain."
He'll just hold up a finger. 1 moment! And he'll just turn around to everyone else. Do we want them to share news of our good deeds, or do we want to tell them that we're terrifying?
You know what? It might be useful to have some friends while.
Shall we? How about like a combination of the two? Like they're really good and amazing, but if you cross them, then like the stuff they do to the bad guys is it's beyond hell.
Yes.
Alright, cool. So I'll turn back to them.
We are not fighting anymore.
No, not just for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Just have a 5-minute breather. I know. You'll be fine.
We haven't even started properly.
It's okay. You've got your pet. It's fine.
Mug, I'm tempted to see you attempt a gauntlet versus these.
Mm.
Of what?
Well, you first punch one dude hard enough that he won't stand up again, and then two dudes will come at you, and then three. And if they don't, I'm gonna shoot them in the back of the.
Hmm. So we are doing pit fighting then.
Yeah,
I thought
we'll get you a proper fighting pit for the pit fight.
Is that
You've
the
earned it.
captain of the captain of the trading ship or our captain?
Oh, the captain of the trading ship.
Okay, cool. Who is grinning? Okay, cool. So to confirm, we would like you to spread word that we do many good deeds for good people, but should you cross us or be horrendous towards those that we call friends or allies, or just come across us on a bad day, we will murderize you in the most creative of ways, and we will be not held responsible for our actions. And would you like this? And he'll offer the trading people one of the gold bars he stole.
The captain eyes the gold and smiles and goes, I won't say no to a gift of that stature at all.
Just to guarantee that you spread exactly the word that we want.
I'll make sure that it's heard wide and far.
Oh, a pleasure doing business with you. Do we have a group name?
Well, as far as I know, we're just suicidal sailors. Not.
I feel like we should change that now. We need something more piratical. We need like a work name, you know what I mean? We need like a team name for
We're
work.
not-
The captain chuckles and says, and I'm certain all the pirates around here will definitely learn to fear it.
Excellent. We consider ourselves a step above pirates. You see, we are brave and tremendous and crazy.
We are the stronger pirates. Like these are the weak pirates, and we are the stronger pirates, right? That's what you told me, guys.
Yeah, they're all weak and we are strong. That's why they only have about 5 members of their crew left, and the rest of them got blown to smithereens or pushed over the.
Yeah, we are strong pirates.
It's quite a good name. The strong pirates. It's just a bit feeble towards the end. The bloody buccaneers. Maybe I feel like it's a work in progress. We'll have to get back to you on the team name. Listen out for a rogue band of awesome people being awesome. That'll probably be us.
You know
we
what?
can,
Follow the trail of chaos.
We
The
can make
trail
sure
of
that the
chaos.
word gets along, but it'd probably be easier if we just mention which good ship you're from.
In that case, the proud ship here is the Citrus, something like that. He's actually going to point at Captain Bhajiri Blackjay, and he's going to go, "Hey, Monkey Man."
The captain looks across at the ship, nods to the crew, and says, we will spread the word of the good ship Citrus around.
It's actually the Cirrus, right?
It is the Cirrus.
I feel like we should be like the good ship. Like, what are those shots you take with like lime and salt and shit?
Tequila.
Tequila. We should be the good ship. Tequila shot.
And we must thank you again for the rescue. We will, of course, be on our way. We do have deadlines to meet with this delivery.
Are you going to repay us in any way other than spreading our tremendously great name?
That we could come to an arrangement on.
Oh, guys, we've got a real opportunity here. I feel like we should seize it, and I feel like I am below expertise in handling this. Quick, what do we do?
Okay. Well,
what might you have to offer us, my good sir or madam? I quite catch which one you were.
The captain smiles at you and then looks slyly at the mess you've made of the pirates and said, "We'll be in port in Fort Hearth in about another week and a half, and if you don't catch us there, our next port of call is Port Lilith. If you manage to track us to either of those two ports, and I'll make sure that we have an agent leave word of where we're headed next if you do miss us, we have work that we could find quite lucrative."
And what name shall we ask for you under?
Myself?
Yeah.
I'm Captain Sanders.
Sanders. And what ship are they from? I assume we saw it as we were like chasing the other people. I'm assuming we saw the name. Do you deliver chicken nugget?
So
Is what the chat seems to be asking at the moment. Like, could you get us a pizza?
So
Soon we'll find Captain Papa John as well.
Oh my god, yes!
Captain
Yes,
Sanders.
that saved my life.
Captain Sanders says, "My ship, should you need to ask after that, is the Burning Phoenix."
Burning.
Ooh, I like that name.
They've got a better ship name than us. Right, we need to rename our ship.
Hey, we've got the Burning Citrus.
The flaming citrus. No, that makes us sound a bit camp.
You see him think for a second, goes, citrus candles could make some good money in Lilith.
What?
Oh, don't mind me, I was just musing.
Citrus candles, eh? What are they when they're at home?
Wait,
Question.
can you make good money on pit fighting? Because I think we have some people for pit fighting.
Well, for that... Ask around in Port Hearth, just below the fort.
Ah, okay.
You're looking for agents that work for the Third, then?
For that?
Yes,
third.
that's what we are looking for. We are looking for the third.
Okay.
She's the one
then-
that runs everything down there, and if you find
Yeah.
her, I think you'll find what you're after. But
Yeah, I have-
he taps his nose. You didn't hear it from me.
No, of course we
Yeah.
didn't.
Gotcha,
I don't.
gotcha.
I don't really remember your name, so.
Mug is especially good at this forgetting business.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask one more thing of the captain before they leave.
Yep.
I'm always looking to improve the weaponry. Do you happen to have any designs or materials that could help me in that pursuit?
Unfortunately, I don't, my friend. It's not amongst the cargo we're carrying at the moment, and not my normal stock of trade. The place you'll probably want to go is the fort at Fort Hearth for that, and see... perhaps you could convince some of the military types like that to part with something of theirs. Although, at the rate they're going, it's like they're preparing for another war.
Oh yes, we may have found out that there's a war going on up north as well. So I'd suggest stocking up on protection.
Up north, you say? Who started this war and who with?
Well, the Shayak attacked the free ports, and we decided that the Shayak weren't nice, so that's why we shipped.
That would explain a great deal about what it was like in Fort Hearth when we were there. Good to know, good to know. We'll keep clear of any Shayak ships on our way around.
And I hear some people are going around just blowing up taverns and temples.
Well, in times like this, it's understandable that there are those that cut loose a little too much.
He just starts giggling.
We must be away, but once again, many thanks, Captain, and we'll let people know. And with that, he ducks his head, and they all turn and return back to the ship.
What nice men.
Right.
And
So,
with
are
that,
we done here?
I'll let you decide what you choose to do with the remaining sailors and the ship.
But I say I train them for pit fighting, and then we find this third, and we profit.
That's a good plan.
Step 1,
Okay.
train for pit fighting. Step 2, something. Step 3, profit.
That sounds good to me.
We just need to work out step 2.
Glenn.
Yep.
Considering one of the pirate ships is more or less saved.
Sorry, I just saw that meme. Carry on.
Considering one of the ships is more or less saved,
Yep.
it still has working cannons.
It does still have working cannons.
Can I instruct the crew to get those cannons on our ship as soon as possible, and to get them to the room next to my armory?
Yep, they spend the time doing that. Some of them prepare the sloop itself to be able to sail. The repair work is rather slipshod. You don't go to heaps of effort to try and get it back up into any form of fighting order. You just need it to be able to point in a direction and go. The prisoners are taken below decks, where there is a very interesting and large hole.
And one by one, they're being pushed out of the hole.
Oh my god, yes. Yes.
I'll let Bingo and Mug argue about whether that happens or not. Mug might be a little disappointed about the pit fighters being thrown through a hole.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. We won't push any out the hole.
Yet.
As long as they fight well. Those ones who are no good at fighting, we can push them.
Deal.
Okay.
But we'll make it a team building exercise. Everybody needs to be there when we push someone out.
Okay. And if anyone's having a particularly hard week, then you can be selected to be pushing.
Yes.
I'm not sure how it builds a team, but okay, you guys are the smart ones.
Yeah, I'm the smart one. What?
Could you repeat that? I didn't hear that much.
I mean, you guys are smart.
Thank you. And with that, Silas is actually making a little bow. And then he's gonna go, well, I'm gonna see if I can make something nice out of those cannons.
The crew move anything salvageable across and maintain a tiny working crew on the sloop, and after a bit of time, the sloop and your ship are ready to move.
Roughly how much gold did we just get? Like, roughly, like ballpark.
Ballpark figure, you're fairly certain you could pay the costs of running the ship for about a month.
Oof, nice.
So wages and food and supplies for the ship for a month.
And we've already got some gold, haven't we? So can I I'll ask my fellow crew. I think we should offer all of our crew a bonus for being so brilliant and coming across and fighting with us, just to remind them that we are the most pirates and they are good to stick with us, and
Yes.
that they should never ever betray us.
That sounds like a good idea.
I also think that that kid should not get any money. Let's face it, he can do anything.
Deal. Because, well, Silas doesn't really like the kid because Bingo seems to not like the kid.
Bingo will go around gleefully informing everyone that they get a bonus, and next time they're on shore leave, they will get some extra gold, and he'll take great delight in saying to the child, "Except for you, just a bit disappointing."
And I'd say it's about there that we will leave it until next time.
On Bingo insulting the child.
I think it's a fitting moment.
Perfect. I think that the episode title that you had in mind beforehand is definitely going to be it, isn't it?
Quite potentially. And I'll get a yo-ho from the lot of you before I stop the recording.
Oh,
Yo-ho! Yeah!
yo, how, yo. It's life for me.